Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Ipswich Town Matchday live pre-game show. I'm, of course, your host, the Gov, and we sit here on the verge of another, hopefully, thrilling, exciting roller coaster journey that ends with 3 points coming back to Suffolk. Obviously, the mighty Tractor Boys, the Super Blues, whichever nickname you like to give them, have travelled northwest to take on Accrington Stanley. Who are they exactly? And a game I'm really looking forward to seeing what transpires, what goes down. A place where traditionally some town teams have really found it difficult. Some managers have never recovered from defeats, it could be said, at Accrington Stanley. But we'll be here with you most, if not all, of the afternoon. Your Matchday Live pre-game show. And, of course, the moment the full-time whistle goes, we will be live with your match reaction show, the show which puts you firmly in control. You will have a live chat as you have got for the pre-game show, and of course you will have the live link to come on and have your say in your words and raise whatever point you wish to make. It is 13:53. I can see some people already in the live chat. If you are watching, do get active. We've got Andy Holt on the platform. Don't forget, if you don't want to listen to the commentary of the game, you can of course put that in your ears instead. And Turbo FC is a YouTube member. He became one last night. So Turbo, thank you ever so much for supporting the platform. If you wish to follow his fantastic example, you can do a super chat or follow the link to our YouTube memberships page and become a YouTube member today. Our first contributor is exactly that, a YouTube member. It's his debut, I believe a debut on this year's away game pre-game show. It's, of course, man, myth, legend, Lionel, our Alex Wilson. Alex, how are you?
All good, mate. All good. Very excited to see how today goes.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it'll be a different experience to what we probably had at Accrington before. So,
well, let's hope so, because most experiences we've had at Accrington before have not been good. Let's be honest. I know we've got a lot of international viewers watching us for this pre-game show. So let us know where in the world you are watching us from, and where you'll be watching the Mighty Blues today. Alex, I like to ask the contributors before 2 p.m. for their predicted lineups. See who gets as close as we possibly can. So, what is your predicted 1 to 11 for today's game against Accrington Stanley? Obviously, Christian Waters in goal. That's a kind of give me.
JD.
Yeah, JD, like it. Right.
Cam Burgess.
You're going Burgess
for the height against.
I love it.
Aki.
Yeah.
So we're going midfield now.
Davis or Lee?
Gonna go Lee.
Gonna go Greg Lee. Okay, yeah, like it.
So Greg Lee. Where's Burns' other side?
Of course. It goes without saying. Midfield 2 unchanged. Evans and Morsey.
Yep. Sam Morsey and. There is an argument you could go Don Ball and go to very sort of
combative midfield players.
Combative midfield. There is that argument, and but I don't think you can break up. I don't think you can break up Evans and Morsey, and then I think with obviously Don Ball being out for the length of time he has been, and then playing the full 90 on Tuesday, is in a position to go again and start again. Maybe not. I would then go.
See where it gets interesting, because you've obviously got Noah Luco, sadly, for several months. You've got Chaplin. Did he train? Did he not train? We don't really know. What are you saying? Who's playing? Chaplin or somebody else in that 10 role?
Marcus Harness in the 10 for me.
Harness in the 10. Okay, so he shifts over.
And the reason I put Greg Lee at the back.
Yeah.
Push Leif Davis forward.
Oh, okay. So you got Davis wide left with Lee behind him, Harness, and then who's on the right of the three? Burns. So you got
Burns. Yeah.
Yeah. And up front, Ladapo or Jackson?
I'm gonna go neither. I'm gonna go.
You had me.
I'm gonna go the new. It was an argument that I saw on social media this morning. If you look at the striker that's in form, if you like, and scoring, it's Hagley.
Had me. Okay, all right. That's the Alex Wilson lineup. Coxie, can you hear us? If you can hear us, wave to me, Coxie. He can hear us. Here he is, Peter Cox, Bricktop, regular on the away day. Well, every pre-game show. Coxie, you heard Alex's lineup there. Let's start with the obvious. He would go for Hadmi, the informed player. Alex says, who would be your centre forward?
After his goal-scoring duck broken the other night, I would say the boy Freddie Ladapo.
You'd repay the faith. You'd go with Ladapo. What sort of message would that send? Obviously, as we count down to the team coming in, what sort of message to Ladapo, to Jackson would that send if Hadmi arrives Thursday tea time and is playing on the Saturday afternoon?
No, I mean, like you said, it comes in Thursday tea time. He's probably had a day's training. Now he's got to be sub for me today, but Kieran has sprung surprises before, so yeah, I do believe it's going to be Ladapo today up front.
I think that would be really surprising. I get your point of view, Alex. He's in form. He's a player that's scoring goals. If he's fit enough to play 60, then why not? Particularly away from home, less pressure maybe. But then you think, Coxie, they've probably worked on this pattern of play, style, shape all week long. Is he good enough to throw it completely out of the window and start ahead of the other two? That's kind of the question mark, I guess, isn't it?
I personally don't think so, no.
Okay. He's gone with Leif Davis at left midfield, or just behind the striker with Marcus Harness. Who would be? How would you deploy behind Ladapo this week, Coxie?
Ideally, I'd like to send Chaplin in, but I don't think if he's at the most been training, once on the Friday, so we'll be lucky to see him probably on the subs bench today. It's got to be Harness behind Ladapo there. Should have been dropped last Saturday. I know we're looking at it with Mogul Matt's Henry hindsight, but no for me.
Best football pundit. He is the best football pundit. We are literally seconds away from getting the lineup. Once I have it on my screen here, you will have it on yours. I'm literally refreshing the page at any moment now that I'm expecting the team to be coming in. The only question, Coxie, very quickly, Leif Davis or Greg Lee? Yeah. Which would you go with? Very quickly.
Davis. Yeah, just ahead. Greg Lee's a good player, but Davis. Yeah, okay. He's starting to show a bit of form now.
Burgess or... right, 2:00. Let's refresh the screen. What have we got? We have got the lineup. It is Walton in goal, Donasian, Wolfenden, Burgess is in, Burns, Evans, Morsey, Davis, Harness, John Jules and Jackson. So no Ladapo at all. So let's break this one down, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's start from front to back. Caden Jackson is your central player. He could play left with John Jules centrally, but one of the two will be your central player, Alex. Talk me through that one. Jackson over or Tyrese John Jules over Ladapo. What's the thinking here? What do you think?
The only thing I can think of is because TJJ is quite pacey as well, whereas Ladapo isn't. And does Kieran McKenna see the Aki defence as one of those defences where we're going to need a pacey striker? He did it, against MK last year.
Yep.
When he brought Jackson in from the cold. So does he see it that pace and running in behind is how we're going to get our success?
Very much Coxie to how it was against Shrewsbury only a couple of weeks ago, where we had that success in behind with the pace of TJJ.
Yeah, as Alex said, I think Kieran's today has gone with a bit of pace up front there, Jackson and John Jules. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jem says, Jem, welcome in. Love to see you, my man. 2 up front, Jackson and JJ. It could be 2 up front.
No chance.
But Cruncher says, called that a front 3. Cruncher, you get... I'm not going to say what I'm going to say there. But John Jules, Harness and Jackson could be arguably the only 3 we've got fit, Alex. I'm just, outside of Ladapo, I'm just surprised, obviously, as you were saying, you had me in, but Ladapo scores... and we're not sort of repaying that, and sort of just trying to get him off and running and going. And I actually thought, and I will be honest, and obviously Kieran McKenna is paid a lot more money than I am for sat in this chair to talk about football. He is paid to manage the team, and he knows a lot more about football than I will ever possibly hope to learn. But I've got to be honest, Alex, I had Ladapo down as my strength today, my literal strength against what I perceive to be two, and I might be wrong, two giants of Accrington Stanley's back line that are going to be physical and dominant. But I suppose there's more than one way to slay a giant.
There is, and that's a luxury we now have, because in days gone by, Aki would have known what our team was going to be and could spend the week prepping for that. The thing is, we haven't called that lineup, so how can they? To me, and maybe it just kind of taking Freddie out of the firing line a little bit, let him come on and sort of, maybe take him out and like build him back up again.
Yeah.
And that is the thing. We've got an embarrassment of riches now, so we're not relying on one player in the way we maybe have been in the past.
No, that's absolutely spot on. Them, yeah, not relying. It's that squad game. It's that rotational situation. Yeah, I agree with that. Leif Davis, you had Greg Lee in your team, Alex. You also had Davis, but further forward. I'm just really pleased to see Leif Davis play because it means his knock last week wasn't anything other than precautionary that had him taken off. And I'm really enjoying seeing him grow into his role, Coxie. His debut wasn't the best, but since then, every week he's gotten better and better and better. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that first game against Bolton, he was definitely off it. But if you think about it, Kieran built him in gradually. I think that first game we had 60 minutes, and then the next game it was 70, and then he sort of built it up 80, and then last week, the week before, I think he had the full 90. So yeah, and as a result, like you said, he's gradually built up, and he's gradually, really sort of showing why they paid ridiculous money in League One standards for a good player. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Between 1 and 2 million, we think it's early ones rising with add-ons. We don't know though. Alex, he's gotten better and better. And how vital is it today, particularly against Accrington Stanley? We've got that counterfoil to Wes Burns because they will know Burns' threat from last year.
Yeah, it is, and we've cried out for most of the time since the Americans took over that we needed the same down the left-hand side to what we had down the right with Burns, and we have that with Leif Davis. And I suppose if you look at it, it's another opportunity to build that partnership. Look, if you're going to play Leif Davis, then you can potentially you can leave Marcus Harness out on that left-hand side, and then play TJJ in the 10, and you're giving those two in Harness and Leif Davis another opportunity to build that relationship, very similar to what JD and Wes Burns have got on the other side. I think it's so important to how we play or how we want to play that we have that dual threat where if you close the left down, the right becomes active, Coxie. If you close the right down, the left becomes active. And he almost scored last week, Leif Davis. He was hobbling about, but he had that great snap opportunity first half that the Barnsley keeper pulled a great save from. And it's not long. It will not be long before Leif Davis has a goal in his town career.
Yeah, definitely. What a great chance. I mean, any other day he probably would have got that, but like you said, it was a good save, to be fair, for the Barnsley keeper. But yeah, it's just, the guys getting better and better. We potentially have got, well, for once we seem to sort of, with him and Leif, Greg Lee, we really have got sort of suddenly sort of an embarrassment of riches down the left hand side, which traditionally that sort of left back or left wing back role has been so weak for us for so long. And but I expect that it will be Jackson probably on the left, just ahead of him.
Okay. Yeah. Craig, of all the defenders, I think David's the most likely to end up in the Premier League, hopefully with us. Cruncher says Fridge must have a knock. Keogh edging closer to the starting lineup. Obviously, Burgess plays. Keogh on the bench. No Edmondson on that bench. The bench today is Hladky, Keogh, Lee, Ball, Edwards, Hadmi, and Ladapo. We'll come to the bench shortly. But Burgess, first of all. We don't know about Edmondson's knock or otherwise, Alex, but you did call Burgess in that lineup for that physicality and strength.
Yeah, I would have played Cam ahead of Fridge for this game, whether he'd be fit or not. Obviously he knows Accrington Stanley. He's a unit of a defender, so he's going to be able to. I think he gives us more of an aerial presence, which I think is what we're going to need against teams like Aki. Can't hear you, Gov.
I'm muted. Sorry, do apologise. Don't know how that happened. I must have pressed the wrong button. Do apologies. I was just saying, it's hard to argue against that because most Town fans would have had him in their lineup heading into today. Coxie.
What, Burgess?
Yeah.
I agreed with that straight away. And for the reason we think just to have that little bit more physicality, and perhaps that is the thinking why Keown. We don't know about the Fridge, or the Fridge has a knock from the other night, or whether he's just been dropped out for one game. But if something goes wrong with Wolf or Cameron, then Keown can come in and he can also he can come in and equally be physical there, because that's what we're expecting from Accrington Stanley. The high balls, the physical.
And it could be a lot of disrespect we're giving them. We don't, I don't think many of us here particularly have seen them play every single week, but that's the type of towel you expect from an Accrington Stanley game. There's the Cruncher said last night, one of his keys to winning was mentality and warfare, Alex. Expect, blood, thunder, guts, gore this afternoon. This is the place where if you take 3 points, you take it because you've really grasped it, ripped it from their hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Aki are one of those teams, we called it about Shrewsbury, the gatekeepers of League One. They're not going to go up, they're not going to go down. They're good at what they do, and we talk about us having an identity and a way that we play. Aki have got theirs, and they're a physical, big League One side.
Yep.
And that's not disrespecting them in any way, shape, or form. They're good at what they do, and they know how to get it done.
Corrections to the bench. Chaplin is on the bench, not Edwards. I mean, you've only had the last last day, this morning to get it right, lads. Come on, feed me the right information here. Yeah, so it's the benches. I'll run through it again with the correction. Oh, I know. I mean, it's the sort of thing I'd get crucified for if it was done on here. Haladki, Keogh, Lee, Ball, Chaplin, Hadmi, and Ladapo. Let me joke, but mistakes obviously do happen. But yeah, Chaplin. Obviously, the admin was just sort of just getting us going a little bit, making us worry. I hadn't even put 2 and 2 together, to be fair, and worked out yet that I hadn't read Chaplin's name out to even worry about him being injured, longer term. But no, Chaplin is on the bench. I think does that say more for Edwards, actually, Alex, that when you read the bench out and Edwards was mentioned, you didn't bat an eyelid because he had such a great game midweek?
Yeah, I think, that's the way you sort of, that you build Edwards up, if you like. You give him the minutes against the, in the
Papa John's,
sorry, I'm getting me. And you let him build his confidence that way. Then you drip feed him into, the first team. And I think it's exactly what I said for him, pre-season. I think having him here as a year under McKenna and learning, and you've seen pictures of McKenna with him, build him up. So, and he did have a good game, and there is an argument that he probably had his best game in a Town shirt on Tuesday, and there is an argument that you reward him with that, but again, it's the embarrassment of riches that we've got that, and he's going to have to probably,
Well, this is why I would have loaned him out, because he's not on the bench today. He's going to struggle to get on most matchday benches. For me, because of the depth of squad that you've got, and that's potential that he's not, for me. But then there's more than one way to develop a player. They've got a centre half called Astley. I just hope Jackson doesn't get rolled by him today.
Yeah, and the thing about it, it's all very well saying.
Coxie got it. They want to give you up. They want to let you down. What a tune! What a tune! I hope his name's Rick. I'm going to find out while you tell us what you're going to tell us, Alex. Sorry, go on.
You know, Ian Westlake summed it up quite well in the commentary on, Tuesday night. It's all very well saying, send Humphreys and Edwards out, but it's got to be to the right club.
True.
We're not going to send lads like that to a Burton, for example.
No, don't send anyone to Burton.
Apart
from poor old Corey and Darver. Bless him.
But that is the thing, and if you can't send them to the right club that's going to aid their development and help them play the way that we play, the better thing to do is have them here, learn them with our coaching team, and not detriment their career by sending them out to a club where they're not going to potentially, play the way that we want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at the Burton lineup actually, and Darver isn't starting or on the bench for them, which I don't know if he's carrying a knock. Perhaps Cruncher will know a little bit more about that, but it's a bit of a disappointment, isn't it, really? Set him there to get game time.
Yeah, it's the ultimate aim of it, isn't it? Game time.
If he's going to sit in the stands, he might as well sit in the stands watching us play. It's a much better game of football. It's a much better game of football he'd have been watching. Lots of war on the pitch. Going on the pitch. Oh, fuck's sake. The teams do that all too often. And Norman Greenwald, the fullback on Tuesday made Edwards look better than he really is. Possibly so, but you can only play what's in front of you. Every which way. He didn't play last week. Yeah, I didn't think to look last week. I just thought to look this week. So last week doesn't matter. But I wanted. Why is he not playing? Is he injured? Someone tell me about Corey and Darver. Finchy, tough place to go, but expect Town to be in the command and dictate things. Before I get your bold predictions as we round up the Matchday Live pre-game show, which is buses, I want to know, because I'll be really interested to find out which player comes on first, Hadmi or Ladapo. You've got both on the bench. You could see both come on and they could form a two, or Hadmi could sit behind the Ladapo, as we know he can do. McKenna was sort of alluding to that last night. But, all things considered, you're taking one striker off to put one striker on. Which one gets the nod this afternoon if you're McKenna and all things are considered? Coxie.
Well, as I said earlier, for me, it should be Ladapo. But, you're now brought in a new signing, so, he hasn't been brought in just to sit on the subs bench. So that'll be an interesting time of the game, depending on how the game's going at that time. Yeah.
Well, if they both on at the same time, Crunch, you'll be wrong, because that means we've seen them play together. And you said categorically we wouldn't see them play together. I remember those words ringing in these ears. No. I'm sure that's what you said. I'll find the clip. But you could see them come on together. But then with Chapman on the bench as well, Alex, I don't know if that is that a likely situation? Because are you? I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing that dynamic play out.
Yeah, I would personally bring Chapman on as an absolute last resort.
Absolutely, yeah.
Today.
Oh, okay.
After being injured all week, I agree. Yeah.
It's nice to have him here, but what you don't want to happen is, say he's fit enough to play, and against these physical sides, he comes on with 75 minutes gone. Someone puts a tackling on, and he end up doing more damage.
True. Very true.
I'd personally be interested to see, could Ladapo come on in the 10 again?
Well, he said Hadmi can play the 10,
and then put Hadmi up top, or but then the argument for Hadmi to play the 10 is, I suppose you've got him up there to sort of win balls for Ladapo to run onto.
Well, in the press conference reaction show we did last night, so McKenna's thoughts on Friday were Hadmi can play 10, 9, wide. So, I mean, if anybody, I think it would be Ladapo's your central figure with Hadmi in behind, if it was to be the two together. But as Cruncher says, Chapman's fit. Otherwise, why is he on the bench? And he's almost right here. You say both, I wouldn't put Chaplin on. And I'm like, okay, I agree. I can see your point of view. But then if that's your point of view, surely, you could that spot should be an Edwards' spot or somebody else's within the squad who could contribute. If you're both saying, I wouldn't, it would be absolutely needs must situation. If he's fit, surely I stick him on 9 times out of 10. And no, in fact, 10 times out of 10. But you two don't. Just to sort of have a talking point of that one.
What, for Chaplin?
Chaplin coming on, yeah.
Well, no, but then he hasn't. He's only sort of trained yesterday, so what Alex made makes a lot of sense. You stick him on if really needed. I mean, yeah, you should say if he's on the bench, then he's deemed to be fit. But with the other two being on the bench, if something has really gone wrong, he shouldn't be playing today.
Fair enough. All right. Bold prediction time, please. But as it goes on with Cruncher, Harness gets in after 10 minutes. Who comes on? It's definitely Chaplin. Well, I'm a firm believer of players that are injured or had knocks or are turning back from injury. If you're fit enough for the bench, you should be fit enough to start, because as we saw midweek with Chaplin, who pulled it in the warm up, you just need somebody in that warm up today to feel their groin go, and you go from we'll give him 20-30 minutes if we have to a well shit. Do we change the whole team? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm a firm believer. If they're on the bench, then they should be able to go for at least 80 minutes of a game. And I believe Chaplin will. And I believe he'll come on today. But you two, I get your point of view. I had the same point of view, actually. I contradict myself because I had the same view last week about Wes Burns. I wouldn't bring him on off the bench if we didn't have to against Barnsley. As it was, he started the game. So I was right where you were last week, to be fair.
But again, it comes down to we've now got a squad where we can have these conversations.
God, yeah. Yeah, we're not bringing Stephen. Yeah, we're not bringing on. Yeah. Yeah.
I know,
National League highlights. Yeah.
Mr. Barnsley, Mr. Norwood up there at Barnsley, but he said it himself on this pod last year. That he was. We were in a mindset previously where you were rushing players like him back because
he did feel that. Well, yeah, he did. Actually, you're right. Actually, yeah, I think he said that, didn't he?
Whereas we haven't got that now. We would have been okay. If Chappers hadn't quite made it, because you've got the squad there behind him to back it up.
What a time to be a Town fan that was. Miles Kenlock coming on at left midfield in a game you were trailing. Oh, mate, I just wanted to have a little bit of a
dark days. They were
the Macarena. I mean, that is just a great. Let's do a little dance.
Yeah,
Disco Dom's balls glistening. Those are the times to be alive.
We need a goal, so let's go get Aaron and on Ollie Hawkins. Come on. You might have given up and gone home at that point.
What a time to be alive. So good you should dance.
God, they were desperate days. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
my thoughts exactly. Absolutely, mate. Yeah.
We've said that several times this week, talking about Wednesday night show and, the transfer, the transfer roundup that Gov did phenomenally well on Thursday, the days of I just can't get that picture out of my head from 2 years ago, up the training ground with the Bomber, Di Cornell, and who even was the other one?
David Cornell, Stephen Hawkins, and Ollie Hawkins. No, Ollie Hawkins and Stephen Ward.
Yeah, and
let's dance. Those days again. It's just worth dancing, aren't they? Get the old Robo Crouch going. What a time to be a Town fan. Those were the. Is it Halcyon they call it? The Halcyon days. They were the good days. I don't know.
Yeah, we used to sit there and
sliding door moment. Yeah,
Stephen Bomber
sliding door in your face, like you want to close it on quickly.
Yeah, you get nose or other extremities out into it. Yeah,
close that door. Close that door of memories. And it's not Rick Astley, by the way. It's Ryan Astley on loan from Everton. The Astley parents missed a trick there. I mean, you're going to go R Astley. Go Rick. Come on. That's imagine going, what's your name? Rick Astley. They want to give you up. They want to let you down. That's a good tune, that. I might add it to the jukebox today. Just because I might. Right. Score predictions coming in. 2-0 from Cruncher. 3-0 from Finchy. 2-0 says Neil. 2-0 says Jem. 2-1 says Paul. 2-1 says Eric Clacton on the road, more than likely. Coxie, your score prediction? Don't go 2-1. I'm banning Coxie's 2-1 this year because it never comes true. Never ever.
Yes, it does. And once last season, I think.
One. Wow.
Once. Yeah, I mean, this is another pivotal day for us today. This is as Alex alluded to. This is, disrespects to Accrington Stanley, that they are one of the darker sides of League One football. They're not going to play football. They're going to do what they do best. So this is a big test. So one of the biggest tests so far. I know we've got bigger ones coming up. So I will say a 1-0. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be a draw, but I'm going to say, just keep the positivity going, a 1-0 win to Town today.
1-0 Town today. Love it. I'll take that. 1-0 says Lloyd, 3-1 says Kerry, 3-1 says Mike, 2-1 says EJ. Alex, what is your bold prediction for today?
I'm going to go 2-0. With them not having their main threat in PVT is Colby Bishop, who they've not got anymore.
Okay. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, he's now at Pompey, obviously. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that every day of the week. Every day of the week. Yeah. Any win I'll take. But I'm going to get the brief today. I'm going to go bold. Bold is a Manscaped product. I'm going to go. It's going to be, which, by the way, use the code TT, 20% off. 20% off. I think it's 20% off. Don't know how much it off.
So we should work with them.
Well, you never say no. But, I mean, the code might not work, to be fair. It's 20% off. Get 20% off at Manscaped plus free shipping with promo code TT. If it doesn't work, then I take it we're not working with them anymore. But
Mike the Fisherman 4-0, bloody hell.
Well, Mike, I've not quite gone 4-0, but I've gone. I'm going to go 3-0. And today is this is. Can we put the ghosts of old to bed? It's the ghosts of old that return to haunt Accrington Stanley. I'm going to go for a Jackson goal, a Danassian goal, and a Burgess goal. That, my friends, is bolder than a Manscaped product. There you go.
I'm going to Morsey goal to get him one closer to Fisherman and a Martini.
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see the Morsey goal. We do. The second part of what you said, certainly not. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. But don't forget, we're back at full time. The moment the full time whistle goes, we are live. I say we. This man isn't. We're being binned off for a pre-show on WWE. Who watches the pre-show? But apparently, we have found their one viewer.
Biggest show in 30 years.
Yeah, but the pre-show, Alex, come on, that's going to be
not bigger than this show, but it is today. But Cox is with me. If you want to join us, let us know. We're looking for people, but it's your chance to have your say. Click the link. Come on, have your say. Be that 60 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And you don't even need a webcam. You can just use audio, just like this. There you go. Some would say it's an improvement, but I like this one. But we're back at full time. Enjoy, and hopefully we'll have 3 points taken away and on the way back down the A14. Catch you. Ipswich Buses, your local bus company. Don't get stuck in traffic. Ditch the car. Go green. Go contactless. Go Ipswich Buses. Fares available from £2.20 return, a fantastic price and a fantastic service. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I yell down low and I am blue, I can't get enough. Oh, yes, love. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Oh, yes, love. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you.